Hey there guys, and welcome back to more Sword of Etheria. So last time around we were pretty successful, we got even more Etheria to spend, but you may recall Field did manage to get knocked out, so probably the best way to rectify that is to increase his health. Now in addition to that health increase, we can also up his survivability by buying our first piece of equipment, the Steel Garment, which if you read the description, says that it will decrease damage taken by 10%. Now 10% may not seem like a lot, but it's at least higher than 0, so any increase is a good increase, I'd say. And we still managed to have quite a bit of Etheria left, so you know, normally I'd say maybe work up and even out Almira with the rest of the group, but she's honestly doing fine, so instead, I think we're going to go ahead and work up Field's strength. And that pretty much takes care of all of our Etheria to spend, so I think it is time to go ahead and start into the next stage. So it appears we've been given a chance to kill 2 birds with 1 stone by destroying these ords. Not only will we be able to lessen the control the gods have on this land and maybe bring it back to its original luster, but we are pretty much required to destroy these to actually make our way through the level properly. Either way, I'm just happy to get a new objective, even if it is particularly easy. All we have to do is perform a single deadly move on the ord, and it'll be destroyed.
With the Earth Etheria dried up, looks like the creatures have gone wild.
So what you're saying is, they're hungry and grassy, huh?
To put it simply, yes.
Speaking of forest creatures, we are introduced to our brand new enemy for the level, the Talparuga. Pretty nasty little guys. They have a knack for hiding underground and popping up when we really least want them to. And they are pretty much the first enemy I'd say it's kind of necessary to block. In addition to that, we do see a chest up there on that little plateau, but wouldn't you know it, the only one that seems to be able to get up there is Almira. Now, as to how we're going to rectify this, it's going to be a couple chapters before we can do that, but trust me, we will be getting that chest at some point. Yeah, the amazing thing is, I know I mentioned in the previous chapter that most of the names for the enemies in the game don't make a hell of a lot of sense, but amazingly enough, the Talparuga is a real Italian term that would fit the enemy. It apparently translates to wrinkly mold. And while these guys are more spiky than wrinkly, they are very definitely mole-like. More than anything, though, they are just simple fodder for you to work up your tension gauge so you can easily destroy the ord. And in case you ever do work through all the possible enemies you have to fight around the ord, well, the Talparuga will be more than happy to spring up infinitely so you can work up that tension gauge and not be stuck forever in this horrible valley. So get reintroduced to those Lancer enemies that we had to deal with on that side path in the previous update. Still not too much of an issue, though it can be a bit of a difficulty when you're just trying to destroy the ord.
Almira! Right away, Leon! Here we go! Here we go!
Still, the good news is that pretty much when the ord is destroyed, all the leftover enemies will decide to run for the hills, so you really don't have to do too much cleanup work. So with this ord, we get a brand new obstacle to deal with, and it is a particularly nasty one if you're trying to keep your juggles going. And that is a mighty wind blowing out from the ord, blowing us away from it, and well, blowing us pretty constantly away from the enemies. Especially when you're having to deal with flying enemies, it can be pretty annoying, but once the ord is taken out, the breeze is gone, and well, you can pretty much have clear sailing. Also, we finally get to see that Frogman's mighty blocking ability, though, well, if you manage to use your command technique to have one of your partners attack it from behind, it has a pretty large problem with its defensive ability.
Almira!
Feel!
Almira! Here we go! Leon! Almira!
Got it! Here we go!
Also, it may seem sometimes that it might be good to save up your death blow to maybe get a few extra orbs, but I think where you're probably going to get the highest rank on this level is not from collecting Etheria or, getting orbs, but instead is just going to be straight getting a good time and blowing through this level as quickly as possible.
Here we go!
It seems that overall, this level is really built for speed and trying to get through it as quickly as you possibly can.
Let's go, kid!
Also, I think that is the first time I managed to get the tension gauge up to level 2, and it did do something new, but I'll go into that a little bit later on. I think we're not really supposed to do it just yet, and I just managed to be a little bit too good at juggling there. Though it does seem occasionally against the Talpa here, well, you might end up missing your juggle. I don't know if it's because they are so low to the ground or what, but it can be pretty annoying. What is also annoying is the fact that occasionally Thea will decide to target the Ord there instead of targeting an enemy, but well, you just have to make sure you're paying attention to what you are targeting and attacking so you're not wasting unnecessary swings. So there is one Ord over there, but we'll hold that off until later.
What in the world is happening?
This must be the parent of all those other creatures. The queen, probably.
Yeah, we have the Talpa Queen here. Now, this is an entirely optional fight. This enemy will not attack you. It will just kind of run away if you give it a chance, but, well, I hate these animals. So, it gives us a nice, large amount of orbs either way for killing it, so I don't really mind it that much. I do find it interesting, though, that the game does give even a vague explanation of how you went from a forested mountain area into what appeared to have been a desert. And it's even more interesting to know that somehow or another the angels, or the gods, have managed to perfect Etheria fracking and is, well, slowly destroying the world. I think it's a pretty interesting story in and of itself.
Almira!
But yeah, in case you haven't noticed it, up in the upper right hand corner there is an indicator telling us how many Ords are left. And that one we have remaining is the one that we bypassed earlier. And I mostly bypassed it because, well, either way we would have to backtrack this direction because of that fiery gate you see there in the distance. Yeah, this Ord isn't too difficult. We do get to see, though, that apparently sometimes the enemies will work in tandem when they're dropping in. Don't know if it was very easy to see, but yeah, these two shielded frogmen did come hang gliding in on the flying enemies there.
Leon!
And it is nice they do give some of these beginning enemies a little bit of personality. But when that last enemy decides to chicken away, it is now time to fight the boss.
What the?
Vetus.
You!
Vetus?
I truly am sorry, but the gods have given their orders. I'm here to dispose of you traitors.
Traitors, you say? It's not quite as simple as you think.
I didn't come here to listen. All I'm here to do is carry out the gods' orders.
Wait, please! You're a Katina too, aren't you? How can you do this to your fellow Katinas?
You're wasting your breath, kid. The way he is now, he's not gonna listen to anything we have to say. I know, because I used to be the exact same way.
Yeah, maybe so, but...
He's not gonna listen to sense until we beat it into him!
Leon, wait.
You don't stand a chance against me, Vetus!
Leon!
What in the world?
Leon, are you okay?
Damn it! I feel like somebody shoved their fist into my head. Again!
Leon, don't use your Lex to its fullest power. Try to hold back a bit, okay? I'll explain why later.
Alright. You don't have to tell me twice. I guess fighting this chump will be a little tougher than I thought.
Not necessarily. Huh?
Why, you think you gotta take it easy on me, huh?
Interpret it any way you like.
That's it, I've had it with you!
Are you the child of the gods?
Huh?
Well, in any case, in the name of Oz, I hereby carry out the will of the gods.
We'd better think before we attack. Watch and see what he does first.
Now, while Almira's advice is kind of useful in those situations, in this case, the primary advice I can give is to take out his two escorts before you even think about fighting Vetus. They will pretty much stun lock you to death, while Vetus does some very fast counterattacks and just overall fast movements. And his guards especially are annoying because of how often they'll block, and just allow you to have a lot of openings for Vetus to attack, and he does a tremendous amount of damage. I think this is mostly because, well, he is secretly Stephen Blum, and as we all know, Stephen Blum is very powerful.
That ought to be enough for now.
So, all in all, I think we were pretty successful as we were fighting the new head of Oz, but the mystery only deepens as it appears that we might be the mysterious child of the gods. Well, maybe we'll find out more about that next time. See you then.